for a good school, and Gonzaga sounded like a good fit. So in the fall of, in the spring of 1949, I came to Spokane and started, and then I met Gonzaga, a singing group called the Gonzaga Men's Glee Club. That's when Glee clubs were very popular throughout the United States. And so I auditioned with Lyle in the fall of 1949, and I sang with them for 4 years in their chorus. It was a very small group. It was about 39, 40 in his Glee club. He didn't want a great big chorus. And I say that probably through Lyle and that experience, I got most of my music education or know-how, appreciation, you might say, because we sang all sorts of classical music, and we sang modern tunes. And so Lyle met him and got involved in the club. We did the tours. We did put on shows at the Bow Street Theater. 2 complete shows every year, spring show and winter show.
Explain I thought it was interesting, you told me the other day about the rehearsal building, where the old building that you rehearsed in, and how it was, the layout was, and how you could get caught coming in late if you were...
Lyle was a disciplinarian. I mean, you were on time or you were out of there. He was just about that strict. And we had at lunchtime, we had a 1-hour rehearsal. We had to eat real quick and run down to the Monahan building, is what is still there on the campus. Big old, one of the first buildings built in North Spokane. And so our rehearsal room was up on top. And we have to hurry there, and then up the stairs, we go up to the 4th floor. And everybody be sitting there waiting. If you were late, everybody knew you were going to get it, because as soon as that door opened and you could hear these steps coming up, you knew he was going to blow his stack. So we all kind of waited for that to happen. And so he was very much that way. He expected a weekend rehearsal, you were there, or you were out of the club. And put on some fantastic shows. He was an excellent director. What he really did, he taught all of us, or especially the young people just out of high school, discipline and focus. That was his thing. Discipline, focus, and not quality, but what was the third?
Excellence.
Excellence, yeah. And so that was his point, and most of them carried that on through their life after they got out of the Glee Club. And they all were grateful for that experience. He would tease you, and then he'd apologize. The things he would say, and he was an excellent musician. He was a baritone, an excellent baritone in his first write. And he came to Gonzaga, or came to Spokane in 1928, and first went to work with Whitworth. He had their music program, and he was a women's basketball coach. And he didn't know anything about coaching, so then Gonzaga got wind of him, and he moved over to Gonzaga, and he had different groups. He had women's groups, and he had a children's choir. He had all this experience. He had his master's degree in music, went to Columbia, and could have been a choral director any place in the United States as far as that goes. He was that good. And, he's always, everything had to be precise. He was just terrific that way. Everything was directed right here in front of his face. And you didn't dare look away from it, or he'd just blow up. And that's how he controlled the club. He had just everybody under control. And he played the chorus just like that. He said it's what it is you see the composition that the person wrote, and you pick that up as a director, and you give that to your chorus, and then they give it to the audience. So it's a reflective thing. This is how it works. Take it from the music through these channels to the audience. See, his Glee Club was not just music people. He had engineers, he had pre-law students, he had all sorts of. So when he set up an endowment, we started an endowment, which is about $2.5 million now, of the Lyle Moore Endowment. And from that endowment, we've has probably sponsored at least 22 Gonzaga students. But he wanted them from all categories in the university, just by ones that needed help in the long run. And we'd have, once a year, those students would come back to us, and they were just marvelous people.
Oh, the chapel bells ring, for the blessings in his life, and the song that they were singing was for Jimmy and his wife, and the little congregation guidance from above. Lead us not into temptation, later on this celebration, guide them with eternal love.
But our bus tours were always a great experience. We've traveled to Canada and Oregon, Washington. The Glee Club went, and you probably know that, they sang with Bing Crosby down in Los Angeles at Easter of '49. They were on he had a show then, a radio show. And so Lyle was invited, they were invited, and they sang all the way down. They sang all the way down, all the way back. And it was impressive that, Bing said this is the greatest Glee Club in the United States. And in fact, we did win an award between Glee clubs, all the Glee clubs in the United States. Fred Waring had a competition for a certain song, which he gave to all of us, and we won that competition. And then after, the Glee Club stopped in 1958. That's when they disbanded the club and the boxing team and all. So then I looked around for something to keep singing, and church choirs didn't really do much for me. Kind of a letdown, you might say, in a way. Although I did sing at the cathedral under Lyle for about a year. And so I then heard about a group through Bill Flanagan, who was a meat cutter also, was directing a group called the Pages of Harmony here in Spokane. And he kind of started hounding me. He wanted me to come down and sing lead, second tenor lead with the chorus. And I said, I have the chorus. But you're singing, you can't be mad at anybody. So I found it very good for stress relief. You go down there and having worked all day and just spend an hour or two, and you just come out of there. You kind of get a high out of singing. You really do, especially when you're blending and when things are happening right. It's quite an experience. And I think it's wonderful.
It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest land I